Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Brad.
And this week on Hood Slappers, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Hyundai Palisade.
What happened to the minivan? Back in the late 80s and early 90s, the minivan was the next big thing in the automotive industry. Designed for families with a litter of kids, the minivan offered comfort, practicality, and space. Lots of space for the needs of growing families, but alas, the minivan seems to have fallen on tough times.
You see, the minivan replaced the wood-paneled long-roof station wagon as the vehicle of choice for a family on the go. This was undoubtedly a major upgrade, but while the minivan replaced the ghastly look of a station wagon, it still wasn't able to communicate style and class. And over time, owning a minivan came to be a lot like showing up to work in track pants and a sweatshirt.
Owning a minivan, much like showing up to work in sweats, communicates one thing: you've given up on life. And when you stop caring in life, you pack away your tight jeans, your designer shirts, and Gucci handbag, and trade that in for something more comfortable and practical. In the automotive world, buying a minivan is like showing up to a backyard barbecue in short shorts, white tube socks, and Velcro sandals. You've given up.
But Brad, there must be a way to completely give up on life without looking like you've completely given up on life.
Good news, Jared, there is. Because you see, automakers realize that the minivan communicates all the wrong things about today's parents. Just because your annoying kids make you feel tired and anxious doesn't mean you have to look that way too. And with that, the three-row SUV was born. And that brings us to the 2022 Hyundai Palisade.
The 2022 Palisade contains all the familiar patterns of an SUV with a few accent pieces that lend it a business casual look. Its curved grille and fin-like LED running lights immediately catch the eye. But with its honeycomb grille and conventional look on the rest of the body, the Palisade isn't looking to be bold. It isn't trying to prove anything except that you can have all that a minivan offers while looking good in the process.
Precisely. You see, the
Hey, Brad?
Palisade... Yeah, what's that?
Don't you think we should change?
I'm pretty comfortable. Why?
Standing next to a minivan, I get it, but standing next to this, I think we're doing a great disservice.
Fair point.
You see, with the Palisade, you aren't the big fancy CEO wearing a three-piece Armani suit, but you're also not Kenneth from tech support who clearly hasn't showered in 3 weeks.
You're more like Jared here in his khakis and green jacket, clearly struggling to cope with life, but looking decent while doing so.
Thank you, Brad. Yet while the Palisade looks casual on the outside, on the inside is where the Palisade does its mic drop.
Once inside, the Palisade moves from casual to elegant. Its low dash and sleek contours give its cockpit a wide open feel, no matter the trim level. Moving to the top of the luxury or ultimate calligraphy trim levels offers you a quilted leather and gray wood combo that looks sophisticated and refined. With a slick dash that can accommodate either an 8 or 10.25-inch touchscreen and either a 3.5-inch monochromatic multi-information display or a 12.3-inch full digital instrument display cluster,
The Palisade can seat up to 8 people with both comfort and class. At over 16 feet long, the Palisade borders on an extra-large SUV, which means no one has to compromise on space. Up front, there are storage bins and a deep console to hide all the things you need to travel. The optional leather seats are sturdy, comfortable, and are available with both heating and cooling. In the second row, you can opt for the 3-seat bench or, what we have here, 2 captain's chairs. The third row offers bench seats with more than enough knee and leg room. The Palisade is all about space and comfort, and when all seats are collapsed, it offers a very impressive 2,445 liters of cargo space. The Palisade is a proper SUV, giving you loads of space without losing sight of style. For those of you looking for a roomy SUV, this is the dream. The middle row can move back and forth on a track, offering you a maximum of 40 inches of legroom. Even in the third row, there is loads of space, which is great for the tall and large among us. But don't take our word for it. There's no large guys around. I think Brad and I are tall enough. We have tested the third row on the Telluride on our way to
antiquing.
And we have also tested the third row on the Subaru Ascent on our way
To the Jays game.
right. Now we're going to test the third row because Brad and I have been invited to a bachelor party at Medieval Times. Obviously, we don't want to go, but we're going to go anyway in the third row, and hopefully they forget we're there. So let's give it a try.
Is there room for one more back there, Jared? Oh, here we go. Scoochie woochy. Ah. You know, I gotta say, Jared, the Palisade seems to understand that just because you travel in the third row doesn't mean you have to feel like a second-class citizen. And I will say this, I think of all the three, I think this is my favorite third row. There's more leg room here. I think this is the best of the third row.
I think I completely agree with you. It's very comfortable. This is, nicely done. But
Great for heading to Medieval Times.
yeah, whose idea was that anyway?
I don't know.
He's your friend.
Well, you got roped into it, unfortunately. But who goes to Medieval Times? When it comes to a passenger vehicle like the Palisade, safety is on everyone's mind, and the Palisade has taken safety to a whole new level. The double IHS has given the Palisade its top Safety Pick Plus award, and the NHTSA has given it a 5-star rating for its safety. Now, automatic emergency braking, rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise and lane control come all standard with the Palisade, while things like a full heads-up display, surround view cameras, blind spot cameras, all of these options are things you can upgrade to.
As I said before, the Palisade is not trying to be something it's not. It's not a performance SUV that's made for towing big things. The engine is a very modest 3.8-liter V6 with 291 horsepower, and this will provide you with 5,000 pounds of towing capacity. The Palisade isn't concerned with towing big things, it's more concerned with giving you a more luxurious drive. And for those of you interested in the all-wheel drive system, every Palisade can be fitted with their H-Track all-wheel drive.
Now, the Palisade's most direct competitor is, of course, the Kia Telluride, which we happen to have one right here. As many of you know, Kia and Hyundai are very similar, and although they're different companies, they both fall under the Hyundai umbrella.
That's exactly right, but even though they're separate companies, the similarities are uncanny.
For example, they both have a 3.8-liter engine capable of 291 horsepower. The difference in length, height, and width is basically the same. The headroom in rear is virtually the same as well, so is the legroom. Even the fuel economy is virtually the same. The only big differences really are cargo space and price. The Palisade has 509 liters of cargo space, the Telluride 595. The Palisade starts at just over $43K, the Telluride just over $46.
So when purchasing one of these vehicles, maybe these things don't really matter. Maybe when you purchase these, it's all about your style preference and how it drives.
Now, let's take this for a ride.
Well, we are lucky enough to be in the ultimate calligraphy thanks to our friends at Guelph Hyundai. And they've given us this, and this really is, I don't get the calligraphy part, I don't know what that means at all for this car, but I get the ultimate part because this has everything. And what you're gonna get as a bonus in this trim level is a 12.3-inch display gauge cluster, wireless charging. You're also gonna get the dual panel moonroof, and you're gonna get a heads-up display system, which is nice, bright, and big, and gives you a lot of information on the screen there.
Jared, we need to let our viewers know that the Palisade comes in 4 trim level options. You got the Essential, the Preferred, the Luxury, and the Ultimate Calligraphy.
Well, here's what I don't understand.
Okay.
You have one called a Preferred. Why make any other trim level? This is the one that's preferred. Or that should be the top. Everyone likes this stuff in the Preferred. You have the Preferred. You don't build around it. You already got it.
That is true. Why is that your second?
I prefer this one, but I'm going to go with this one over here.
Now, Jared, another thing to know here is that with the Ultimate, you get the option of the captain's chairs in the second row instead of the bench. And what viewers should know is that the ventilated seats only come on the captain's chair. So if that's something you want to make sure you upgrade to the captain's chairs.
That is very good consumer advice, Brad.
Thank you, Jared.
Let me add more to it.
Oh, okay.
Here's an interesting note. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Yeah.
Only available on the first 2 trim levels. You cannot get it on the higher 2 trim levels. So in this one here, you have to plug in your phone into the car to show your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which wouldn't be so bad, but here's where I take issue. You have the older style USB, which you plug into, so it's not as fast or as free-flowing as the newer upgraded USB ports.
Can I just say that makes no sense and is a big oversight, and maybe why you should go with the preferred trim level.
Because I prefer wireless app connect, to be honest.
So there you go.
Well, I don't get that. It has something to do with the screen. It just isn't geared up for it. But yeah, I think it's a big mistake. And I'll say this, I think Hyundai could have cut a few costs in order to make that possible. One of the ways they could have cut costs is this headliner, okay?
Yeah.
Microfiber suede.
Oh.
Okay, that's a lot of money, I'm sure, to make that. Nobody walks into a car and says,
No.
honey, look at that headliner. I just think he could have taken those little things and made wireless app connect available. So if you are looking at this car, if you want wireless app connect, you can go to the preferred.
This is good stuff we're covering here. Good critiques, you could say. Now, can I tell you something that I read on Edmunds.com?
Yeah.
Their critique. We are given valuable stuff here. They
What do they say?
They said it doesn't have crisp handling. Can you define what is crisp handling?
I've been driving it for what, 5-10 minutes now?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed anything crispy, so maybe they're. But what's the opposite of crisp handling?
The opposite of crisp would be soft,
Sludgy,
mushy.
What are these adjectives?
You got a potato chip, you want it crispy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the opposite would be like pasta, like a noodle.
And everybody loves pasta,
Everybody does love pasta.
but not with the driving, I guess.
No, you don't want a soft, mushy handling.
You got to be more specific with that,
Yes.
Edmonds.
Yes.
In my opinion, you can't
Yes.
just throw an adjective and think that covers everything. I think that opens up more doors.
Absolutely. You don't know. Has it felt like it's veering off to the side of the road or something?
No, I don't notice it crispy or sludgy. I'm just driving.
Good hand.
Yeah.
There you go. The Palisade takes safety seriously. I do wish that they would make all their safety features standard, but it's clear that they are doing some amazing things with safety, and I appreciate that. And I'll tell you what I really appreciate. They even provide a driver's side knee airbag in case of an accident. Now, let me tell you, I got bad knees, Jerry. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, it's hard to tell because I'm pretty quick, but I got bad knees. And a driver's side knee airbag, wouldn't that be something? Hey, protecting the old knees?
You think that's you get in a side impact, you think a little pillow on your knees I think your bad knees are getting worse.
Protect my versatility, my stealthiness.
How do you think that meeting went? We got a lot of guys with bad knees driving around. We
Maybe.
give them a.
Got to protect those knees.
Knees are very important.
Yeah,
That's very
there.
true. Now, Brad, we have reviewed the Telluride, and now we have the Palisade. In our Telluride review, which you can check out on our YouTube channel, a lot of people commented and said, what do you think of the Palisade? So here we are in the Palisade. We've driven both, we've reviewed both, we know both, and now it's time for us to decide which one do we like better. And Brad, I'll go first.
Okay.
Looking at both of these, as we've already spoken about, dimensions almost spot on. Okay, the Telluride starts at a bit of a higher price, but that almost gets irrelevant when you get up into the trim levels. So, as I said earlier, it comes down to style and drive. And although apparently this isn't as crispy as some other SUVs, I really like it. However, I think I'm on Team Telluride. I really like that vehicle. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. There's similarities. Again, this piece here is exactly the same as the Telluride. Screen size as well is the same. You have the quilted seats in this car, which is different. Designs on the outside. The front end of this is very nice, but as a whole, I think the Telluride is better in my opinion. But that's my opinion, much like Brad's opinion, his favorite group, the Carpenters, his favorite singer, Celine Dion. Doesn't mean I have to like it, but Brad loves it, and I respect him for that.
That's an interesting comparison there, Jared. First of all, Celine Dion is a Canadian icon.
That's
Okay?
I believe you. I trust you on that.
We'll say this. I'm going to give my vote to the Palisade, and I'll tell you why.
Please.
Couple of things. Yes, this area right here is similar, but I love that the Palisade actually offers more buttons down here. I like it. I don't like having to go in for a lot of features. I think the infotainment system can be helpful when you're stationary, but for anything I got to do while I'm moving, I want a button down here. So I'm going to give that advantage. Third row, I'm sorry, it's just the best of the three we've tested. So now I don't plan on being back there a whole lot, but I think there's something about that. And then the final thing I will say is this. I am just a big fan of what Hyundai is doing lately. I love all of their cars, their interior. Ioniq 5, Tucson, Santa Cruz. I am a big fan of Hyundai. I gotta just say that. And I like the aesthetic, what they're doing.
Could this be your next vehicle?
I feel like you almost asked that mockingly now.
You're absolutely right, I did. You're absolutely right, I did.
This very well could be.
Well, let me say this, okay?
Yeah.
You know, when you put something on YouTube, you are open to criticism. And there are two things we have been recently criticized for.
Okay.
How we say Hyundai, okay?
I've been correcting it today. I would like to make a case for my pronunciation.
We say it right, Hyundai. Because in our area, because
yes.
in the United States, our friends to the south, they say it's Hyundai. But in Canada, we say Hyundai. So it's, again, tomato. But we're open to criticism, we accept it, and we still love everybody out there who comments. I, for one, especially love the individuals who comment on Brad resembling Bubbles in our last Telluride video. Spot on, it's watertight.
Spot on?
Watertight.
Spot on?
Spot on. Watertight.
Me, Bubbles.
Yeah, Jesus, Brad. Frig off, Brad.
You know what? That's another Canadian icon, Bubbles.
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion, Bubbles,
Bubbles,
and Wayne Gretzky. Those are our three.
When did we talk about Wayne Gretzky?
Oh, we didn't. I'm just rounding out.
Oh, okay. So you're wearing a cardigan. Listen, we were doing this whole thing, starting in jogging pants and a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And now we're business casual, and you're wearing a cardigan? That's only one step up from a sweatshirt. Cardigan.
You show. You know what? This is a good point. Business casual. That's what we're going for. You show up in a windbreaker. Huh. That might be below. Is windbreaker above or below the sweatpant shirt?
Windbreaker is way above.
Way above.
Way above.
I don't know. Our viewers can let us know there.
Windbreaker. Look at the wind out there. If I didn't have this,
Could be chilly.
I'd be a goner.
Well, there you have it, folks. The 2022 Hyundai Palisade. It takes the minivan and gives it the makeover it needs. Now, you aren't getting anything over the top here, but it does stand out. And what the Palisade does so well is give you space and comfort without needing to feel embarrassed about it. Armed with the latest in technology and offering some of the best safety features in the industry, the Palisade gives you practical with a touch of poise. And with that, I give the 2022 Hyundai Palisade my hood slap of approval.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.